For over 100 years, the American Legion has served veterans in our community with a focus on 4 pillars: veterans and rehabilitation, Americanism, national security, and children and youth. All veterans who have served honorably, spouses of veterans, and sons of veterans may join a local post family. The 22nd District Department of Texas covers the Houston area with 13 Legion posts and auxiliary units from Katy through the South Houston region. Each post has a service officer to help veterans get needed services from the VA, assistance with job placement resources, family issues, PTSD, and more. We are known for our honor guard and burial honors, flag retirements, scholarship programs with the Oratorical Contest, American Legion Baseball, Boys and Girls State, Junior Sports Shooting Program, Wreaths Across America, and many community events for the family. If you are a veteran or related to a veteran, we encourage you to become a member of the American Legion today. For more information, please visit LegionDist22.com. We are Legion.
Turning in. Here's 4, no drop it there. That last drop looked to me like it's on the east side of the road. Don't you want them on the west?
That's right. The target still at 9 o'clock at 100 meters, and that's the only drop I would create this one.
82-1 is in.
And I do want them on the west side of the road.
Zip it along speed. 15 slow. Stand by. Left.
Ladies and gentlemen, the program is beginning.
Yes, sir. From our post. I mean, from the. Dimbo, right? Yeah.
Vietnam and other veterans, family of veterans, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I am Robert Dimbo III, Director, Mayor Office of Veteran and Military Affairs, and I am a Vietnam era veteran, class of 1971. Welcome, my brothers and sisters. Since the birth of our nation, each generation of America have been called to defend freedom by force of arms. Our Vietnam veterans should have been honored, celebrated, praised for their service and sacrifice. On this day, we recall these sacrifices and say it again to our Vietnam veterans. Your cause is our cause. We have not forgotten you. We will never forget you. We must never forget those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for freedom. I salute you. Thank you for your service. May God bless you and your family for years to come, and may God bless the United States of America. Now I call upon Dr. Jones, our veteran officer.
Good morning, City of Houston. Say good morning, City of Houston. We got veterans out here, so I know you're all allowed, right? First of all, I'd like to say thank you all for coming. So there's a department of 2, that's Mr. Dimbo, Navy, and myself, Dr. LaShondra Jones, and the other half of that department, I serve in the United States Marine Corps. So before I go further to introduce our MC, I would like for anyone who served in the armed forces here on the side of my voice to please stand. If you serve in the military, if you raise your right hand, you gotta kind of say different ways because people don't always self-identify. So let's give them a round of applause. And if you can't stand, you can just wave your hand. Thank you so much. And to our honorees, our Vietnam veterans, today is your day. March 29th will be forever in history, Vietnam Veterans Day. So I need my Vietnam veterans to please stand. And if you can't stand, please wave your hand. City of Houston, these are your Vietnam veterans. These are the men and the women who served. These are the boys and girls who left off and left this country and came back as men and women. These are the ones who are still suffering in silence. These are the ones who are still isolated. These are the ones who are sleeping under the bridge. These are the ones who are still suffering from PTSD. These are the ones who are still around their families and never talk about what they went through when they in Vietnam. So today, we salute you. Welcome home. And for those Vietnam veterans that didn't make it back, or for those who've gone on to glory, we still salute them in their absence. And for those who are still trying to find their way back, we salute them in their absence as well. Thank you. Amen. So I've been tasked to introduce our MC. So when Mr. Dimmer and I sat together and tried to decide who we wanted to MC the program, we both thought the same thing, Mr. Tim Stroud. So Tim Stroud will be the perfect person to be the MC, because Tim Stroud has been there and he's done that. He is a combat medic. So he, as we say in the military, he took that flight to fight for his country. So he's a former combat medic in the United States Army. He served his country for 5 years with deployments to Kosovo, Kuwait, and Iraq. During these years, Tim learned volumes about team building, leadership, and camaraderie. And you can see the rest on the program. So let me tell you what I know about Tim. So I think it's in the Stroud blood to serve after military service, because Tim's dad is a Vietnam veteran. Tim's dad served after military service. Tim's dad became a police officer. And unfortunately, Tim's dad died in the line of duty serving his community. So we want to say to you, Tim, wherever you are. Where are you, Tim? Tim, we want to say thank you. And in the perfect way, we cannot say thank you enough for your father's service in Vietnam and for his service to this community. So we would like to still say thank you. Sit back and enjoy the show. All right, Tim, come on.
I see what it is. They just brought me in so they can make fun of me with the microphones at 7 foot tall. I really think they brought me in because my voice is loud enough that the mic goes out, y'all can still hear me. Now, we heard what the Marines sound like, and can we hear what the Army sounds like today? There we go. All right, you're amongst friends. And that's a great thing about after you put your hand on the Bible and you lift your right hand up and you pledge to our Constitution to uphold it against enemies, foreign and domestic. You create that camaraderie, that brother, that sisterhood that goes beyond each of the individual branches, and we get to poke fun and have some great camaraderie with each other, even though sometimes that takes course over an Army-Navy game, which we are way behind, Bob Gephardt. I understand Navy's ahead. I give it to you guys. I hope that you're ready to enjoy today. If you brought tissues, you'll want to keep them at the ready, because we're going to take you on a roller coaster. I promise to leave you on a high note today as we wind up. All of these men and women behind me, those are the ones that are supporting you. As you came back from deployment after deployment to a community that had no idea what to do with you, these guys and gals figured it out. Let's lift you up. A lot of you should be up on stage with them. You're going to meet some of them in just a little while. And at the end, I want you to make sure that you connect with them, because they can't do their jobs unless they're connected to the community and making sure that they're fulfilling their promise to the community. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor to have the colors posted by the Energized for STEM Academy Central High School MCJROTC color guard. That will be directly followed by the national anthem by Miss Tiffany Brown. She's an Army specialist. At this time, please rise for the posting of our colors. That will be followed by our Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. Cedric Patterson, Vietnam combat veteran, followed by Chaplain Gregory McCrimmon with the invocation. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Tiffany Brown.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave.
And by the grace of God, I'm able to stand here 55 years later, when I served with the 1st from the 40th Field Artillery Battalion in Dong Ha, Vietnam, at the north border, under the leadership of Colonel Lee Roper, who resides shortly down the street here in Houston. And I still serve the veterans, and we cannot not just stand in the gap for through an organization called American Legion, where the national commander is from the state of Texas, and he have a motto of no veteran left behind. With that, I would like to lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all, including the Vietnam veterans.
You may be seated. Let us join in prayer. Eternal and gracious God, as we observe the 60th anniversary of the Vietnam War, we reflect with solemn reverence upon the valor of a generation that served with honor. We pay tribute to more than 3 million servicemen and women who left their families to serve bravely, a world away from everything they knew and everyone they loved. From Ia Dang to Khe Sanh, from Hue to Saigon, and countless villages in between, these brave service members pushed through jungles and rice paddies, heat and monsoon, fighting heroically to protect the ideas we hold dear as Americans. Through more than a decade of combat over air, land, and sea, these proud Americans upheld the highest traditions of our armed forces. As a grateful nation, we honor more than 58,000 patriots, their names etched in black granite, who sacrificed all they had and all that they would ever know. We draw, O God, inspiration from the heroes who suffered unspeakably as prisoners of war, yet who returned home with their heads held high. Help us, O God, to keep faith with those who were wounded and still carry the scars of war, seen and unseen. With more than 1,600 of our service members still among the missing, strengthen us, O God, as a nation to do everything in our power to bring these patriots home. And as in the handwriting on the wall in the book of Daniel, help us, O God, in the reflection of the wall that is inscribed with the names of the fallen, to see the military families, members and veterans who carry the pain that may never fade. May they find peace in your bosom and love, knowing that their loved ones endured not only in medals and memories, but in the hearts of all Americans who are forever grateful for their service, valor, and sacrifice. In recognition of this chapter in our nation's history, let us never forget what these brave men and women have sacrificed. Let us renew our sacred commitment to those who answered our call in Vietnam and those who await their safe return. In your gracious and eternal name we pray, amen. Amen.
I know you heard the pledge, the prayer, and all of those great words, but did you feel them? The passion behind those voices, the power that's there. I'm thankful for their words, their service, and also every one of you that has come out here today. We ask now that you turn your attention to the Westbury High School. The conductor, Al, who's been here for 25 years leading the charge, hailing all the way from Memphis. Al, take it away.
This is dedicated for the day you came home.
Thank you, Westbury High School Jazz Band. Excellent job. I told you about our elected official, federal, local and state that are here to celebrate and uplift you. One of the top ones are the mayor of Houston. He would absolutely be here. He's on a trade mission, strengthening relations for Houston, bringing more economic growth. And we have some great presentations today, and I hope you just soak it up, because these are your elected officials. Some of them will be speaking in turn, and then I'll go ahead and name the rest of them. We do have a presentation on behalf of Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, her senior advisor, Gephardt Azunene. He just gave me the card, and I know I butchered that name. Gephardt, come on over. I changed up early. We're going to go ahead and have you do the presentation. You ready?
Great.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Gives me great honor to represent the Congresswoman today. She's currently in Washington, D.C., and as you know, the war in Ukraine with the Russian aggression towards Ukraine is something that's top of mind for her. But in her absence, she wanted me to come and present a proclamation in honor of our Vietnam War veterans. I think it's worth saying I think she would have wanted me to say, we salute and honor these heroes for their sacrifice today. We remember the 2.7 million Americans that served in the Vietnam War, the 304,000 who were wounded, and the 58,000 who died. We know that freedom is not free, and that it is fought for and secured through the courage and bravery of our veterans. Thank you for your sacrifice, and thank you, and may God bless you. Now let me read. All right, so on behalf of Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, we'll bring this official proclamation later on today. Thank you so much.
Good. Stand in the backfield, and I guarantee you we're going to miss someone, because somebody slipped in here from the end. And if you would hold your applause to the end, we'll have them stand up if able. If not, they'll wave their arms. We have Commissioner Precinct 2, Adrian Garcia. Commissioner, yeah, go ahead and clap. I know you wanted to. Go ahead. She started. She's the clap starter. Commissioner Rodney Ellis. You guys can let me know by applause if they're here. If they're here, and you guys a thundering round of applause. If not, give me the golf clap, okay? Deal? Okay, we'll make some bargains here. Representing Commissioner Jack Cagle, Paul Shanklin, and Kevin Markowski. Okay, golf clap. Texas, from the Texas Veterans Commission, the Vice Chair, Kevin Barber. I met him when he was with, there we go, with the Lone Star Veterans Association and Combined Arms. Mayor Pro Tem, Dave Martin. HPD Chief Benner. Houston Fire Department Chief Pena. Harris County District Clerk Marilyn Burgess. And the rest are council members. We'll go down the list. Sally Alcorn. Mary Nan Huffman. Carla Cisneros. Mike Knox, and Chief of Staff. Councilmember Amy Peck, I saw her to my right. Kubosh, Michael Kubosh. I didn't see his white hair up here. Tiffany Thomas. Councilman Edward Pollard. Councilman Abby Kamen. Councilman Letitia Plummer. Councilman Robert Gallegos. Martha Castic Tatum. Councilman Carolyn Evans Shabazz. And Councilwoman Tarsha Jackson. Give them all a round of applause as and now please help me welcome for city remarks the Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Dave Martin.
As Tim mentioned, Mayor Turner is on an economic development and trade mission to Mexico, and he sends his greeting. But it's an honor for me to be here, not only to represent Mayor Turner, but the city of Houston. And I'd like to ask my council members to join me at the podium. Welcome home, gentlemen and gentleladies. Especially welcome home to the great number of Vietnam veterans in the city of Houston that work and sacrifice each and every day. Understanding the true cost of war is not measured in dollars and cents, but in lives. Our neighbors, our friends, and our family who came home with seen and unseen scars that need mending and extensive care, and the soldiers that never came home at all. We must never forget the pain and suffering that lingers today for the men and women who fought with honor and distinction in the name of freedom, in the name of democracy for all. We remember the men and women who so honorably served during more than a decade of fighting in the challenging terrains of Southeast Asia, where they faced extraordinary and unprecedented dangers. We will never forget their sacrifice, and we value their continued service to their fellow veterans here today, as they embody the motto of the Vietnam Veterans of America: never again will one generation of veterans abandon another. Since their return, some continued in uniform, while many returned to civilian life and started their families. Our veterans, you gentlemen, you gentle ladies, have contributed tremendously to your community, to the city of Houston, to the state of Texas, and to the United States of America. Vietnam veterans also mentored those who followed them in uniform. You built the foundation of today's military, and we appreciate your efforts. Your leadership, continued leadership, led to the successes we've had as a country in Panama, Desert Storm, Bosnia, Iraqi freedom, and enduring freedom. These leaders established strategies and tactics and the standards that ensured our success. It is important to remember our military served in Vietnam under 6 different presidents. President Truman first authorized the first U.S. advisors to serve with the French, and President Ford was in office at the conclusion of the Vietnam War. 58,276 names are permanently cut into the black granite of the wall. The sad part about that is their average age is 23 years old. More than 300,000 Americans were wounded in the war. 5,905 women served in Vietnam. The majority of those ladies were nurses, 8 of whom were killed in theater, and their names are also included on the wall. Lastly and sadly, 1,587 are still considered missing in action and never accounted for. So through this commemoration, the City of Houston, my fellow council members here with me today, and the Mayor's Office of Veterans and Military Affairs under Mr. Robert Denbo, join all the citizens in this great state and nation to honor you, our remembered Vietnam veterans, and your family for your courage, for your sacrifice, and for your valor. Thank you for your service and welcome home. And I'd like to present the proclamation on behalf of the City of Houston, Mayor Turner, and our council members. Whereas throughout the history of the city, state, and nations, countless courageous individuals have bravely answered the call to patriotic duty. Vietnam veterans endured unspeakable hardships and endangered their lives fighting for our American values in the pursuit of democracy. Whereas the Vietnam War lasted for 19 years and 180 days. Whereas the war continued, American involvement increased to astounding number, over 3.4 million troops were deployed. Whereas we cannot measure the debt of gratitude we owe to you brave men and women who served, who were wounded, and who died in battle. Whereas the Vietnam Veterans Appreciation Day presents the opportunity for the people of Houston to honor and thank our Vietnam veterans for their service. So please join me, council members. Therefore, I, on behalf of Mayor Sylvester Turner, Mayor of the City of Houston, do hereby proclaim March 29th, 2022 as Vietnam Veterans Day.
He's a 2-tour combat decorated veteran, which includes the Purple Heart and Combat Air Medal. After the military, he went and got his master's degree from Houston Baptist University, and he's been awarded the Legion of Honor Award And he and his wife are founders of the Miles Ministry. And I love being around great people where you know that they just shine and they have that epitome of servant leadership. Please help me welcome your keynote speaker, Charles L. Miles.
Let's see. I heard the Marines. I said I heard the Marines. Now let me hear airborne. Oh, come on now. I tell you, airborne all the way. Amen. I tell you, I know how to simplify, but I believe going air is the way. Huh? That's right. It's the way. And I tell you, I am emotionally struck simply because I see so many that I know personally and have made friends even this morning, and I'm thankful for that. And I am honored to be a guest here. My good friend, Navy veteran, Robert Dembo III. I had to put that in, the third. It was 3 of them. But anyway, when I got the call from the mayor office, Dembo asked if I would come and speak. And I told him, I warned him, I said, that's dangerous. And he said, just come on and speak, and don't take long, just come and speak. And I told him, I said, Dembo, this is a black Baptist preacher. Do you know what you're doing? But Dembo said, come anyway. And I'm thankful for that today, that he allowed me to come and share with you just for a moment. I am honored to be here today. I am honored to be here today on such a special, solemn occasion. I want to start by thanking every veteran, simply because I'm a military brat. My father was in the Air Force, and he was stationed in Da Nang. And the day that I hit Vietnam, Benoit, they shipped him out to Thailand. And I'm mad at him now. But they shipped him out to Thailand because father and son couldn't be in a combat zone at the same time. So I'm thankful for all our military branches. And so I just want to thank every Vietnam veteran represented here today, your families, and to each of you, thank you for your service. To Mayor Sylvester Turner, City Council members, and all the city first responders, we do thank you for your service. And again, my good friend, Robert Dembo, for this great invite. I thank God for him, and I'm thankful today also for the Mayor Pro Temp, Dave Martin, just a awesome proclamation, and to, in her absence, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. But I won't take long, but a veteran come up to me this morning and he saw the few medals that I have, and he said, oh, you did more than I. And I said, no, we did the same thing. And so I hope to express that to everybody at the sound of my voice this morning. Some 54 years have passed, and the events of that time are still etched in my memory, as if those events of that time happened yesterday. I am often reminded of the times when it was hard to distinguish whether it was day or night as we pressed our way through the dense jungle terrain in the Central Highlands. With a cover of triple canopy jungle treetops that deprived us of sunlight, while fighting off a persistent enemy. Yes, this enemy was persistent. It went by the name of mosquito, snake, and leech. I can remember times being slammed to the ground as we press our way through the jungle. And a coined phrase by those veterans who were serving at that time, they gave this act or this moment, and they gave this vine, they called it the wait a minute vine. As you press your way forward, it snatched you back by 5 feet. I can remember water-soaked hands and water-soaked feet, to the point of not being able to tie my boots without getting a boot string cut. As we traveled through the rice paddies and through what appeared to be an unending rain season. But there were special times when we would sit around and talk and converse one with another, eating sea rations and what was known at that time as LERP field rations. Those were the ones we trusted and we shared our deepest secrets with. Yes, sitting around telling lies all about how many girlfriends you had back home. You see, not home there. That's what 18 and 19-year-olds do. Yes, special times when we got mail that gave you hope, mail that ensured you that you were loved and not forgotten, mail that made you feel like a good soldier. Now, if we had to describe and characterize a Vietnam War veteran, we would most likely start with what is expressed in their willingness to serve. And some might say, oh, they were good soldiers. There might be others that would say they were brave. There might be those who might say that they were courageous, and others might say that they were patriotic, loyal, and devoted. Well, all these descriptions would be accurate and fitting for these men and women who are America's most valuable and treasured people. In order to understand the fullness of something or someone, you must understand the one thing that makes them brave, courageous, patriotic, loyal, or devoted. Yes, there must be a root quality that makes one brave or courageous. I am told that everything has a beginning, and it produces something that points back to that beginning. Yes, when we see those who served in Vietnam as good soldiers, we mean that he or she has something strong qualities and virtues when added together make he or she someone we respect, we trust, and we are seen as the sum total of the qualities they possess. It is not easy to tell you exactly all the qualities and virtues one must have to be a good soldier. Perhaps we can understand better when we understand the qualities that all good soldiers have had. These qualities must include honesty. They must include courage. They must include self-control, decency, and love and conviction of purpose. All of these qualities are of a good soldier. But the quality that makes a good soldier a great soldier is love and conviction. Without love, there can be no conviction of purpose. The Holy Scriptures attest to that. It tells us that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. And it goes on to say, there is no greater love no man has than one who is willing to lay down his life for another. Yes, the Vietnam veterans had hope. They had hope for tomorrow, hope for their family, hope for their safe return, but they also had faith. They had faith to see the invisible, to reach the unreachable, to do the impossible, but more importantly, they had love with conviction of purpose. Yes, they were committed to the mission. I am reminded of a time, a funny moment. I said I wasn't going to share this, but all great soldiers have a funny moment. We all come out of a structured background. And I remember in the Central Highlands, my gun team was sent on a mission. And it was 6 of us. And so the call sign was Papa. And I can remember saying, Papa 1, this Papa 2, over. But now at 18 years of age, you know, some things you learn go right out the door. And so when we made it to this hilltop, I said, Papa 1, this Papa 2, over. We've arrived at this, you know, so on and so on. And I'm following all of the protocol that a great soldier should do. But all of a sudden, something broke loose. Bark was flying off the trees and dirt was shooting up and the bullets were coming from everywhere. And instead of me saying, Papa 1, this Papa 2, we're being fired on, I said, oh, help me, hey, they shooting at me. Every great soldier must know how to improvise. Because 15 minutes later, there come about 20 of my comrades. More importantly, they had to have love with conviction of purpose. Yes, love for their country, love for family, love for each other, and love that would be committed to the mission. So why do we celebrate these great men and women that demonstrated this virtue that made them great soldiers? Because this virtue called love that our Vietnam War veteran has a resume. And it says that love, the love that they have, beareth all things. Love believeth all things. Love hopes for all things and endure all things. I'm reminded, I said it was an emotional time for me. I'm reminded being in Fort Lewis, Washington, coming through the airport, and it was in '68. And you know the climate that was here in America at that time. And all of a sudden, I'm escorting my best friend Buddy back to Flint, Michigan, and I am commanded, once I do the escort, to go back to my service in Vietnam. Standing in the airport, I could hear the whispers. Oh, they are baby killers. Oh, they are rapists. And oh, they are no good. And this war is no good. And I'm reminded at 18 years of age, standing in my dress uniform, escorting my best friend Buddy, and all of a sudden a big burly guy. At that time, you could smoke in the airports. You could chew tobacco in the airport, and he spat right in front of me. But love endureth all things. And like I said, this love that we possess as Vietnam veterans have a resume. It says that love beareth all things and believeth all things and endure all things. As I close, I'm sure somebody is saying, Mr. Miles, what do love look like? Well, I'm glad you asked. Love looks like this. 2,700 and 9,918 veterans wore the uniform in Vietnam. 58,148 laid down their life in the care of this country. 75,000 were severely disabled. 23,214 were 100% disabled. 5,200 lost their limbs, and 1,000 sustained multiple amputations. 304,000 were wounded. 240 men awarded the Medal of Honor. That's love. Out of the 58,000, 61% were younger than 21. Out of the 61%, 11,465 of those were younger than 20 years of age. Out of the 11,465 that gave it all, 5 were only 16 years old. That's love. Yes. Yes. That's love. 1,253 MIAs, 2,500 prisoner of wars. But then, as I conclude, I began to think about the many veterans I've served while working at the VA hospital. The question was asked to those who served in Vietnam, are you glad you served? 91% said they were glad they served. That's love. But then 74% said that I would do it again despite the outcome. I want to encourage each of you here today. Press forward to the mark of the high calling. Continue to do what you have always done. It is my prayer that each of you continue to prosper, your families prosper, and may this country return to you that same type of love that you bore for this country. God bless you, God keep you, and God bless America.
A round of applause. Keep it going. Thank you, Mr. Miles. We have a special presentation for you.
Again, on behalf of the City of Houston, today is Vietnam Veterans Appreciation Day, and forever on March 29th, we'll have Vietnam Veterans Appreciation Day. God bless.
Thank you, Miles. Mr. Miles, thank you, Dave. I appreciate everything. As I look out on the crowd, you guys don't see the same faces that I do, but I see Jamae over there. I see Myrna. I see Kyle, Lucy, Leah, Jay, and Lori. You don't know these people. But guess what? They're the patriots that help run other organizations that help out veterans and their families in their time of need. And I love what they do. And by the time you finish here today, there's some more organizations. I want to challenge you to get involved with some of these organizations so you can connect with other veterans, but also lift up others. If you never had the opportunity to serve, guess what? Today's the day you get to meet some great organizations and plug back in. We also have State Representative from Texas, Mr. Ron Reynolds. Is he behind me? Is he going to stand up? You guys clap if he's standing behind me. He's not. Okay, you guys, Lucy, you missed your cue over here. It's okay, I'll allow it. And also we have representatives from the VA, from the VHA and the VBA. We have Miss Maureen Diamond and Robert Worley. I know Robert's behind me. Robert, give a wave. Okay. Maureen's hiding over here in the wings. The representatives from the VA. So if you have not filed your benefits, the VHA and the VBA are definitely here for you. And as Garrett makes his way back up for his presentation, I did want to recognize a few of the veteran service organizations that are here today. There are over 250 organizations that either have a footprint or they are located in the greater Houston area. No longer do you have to come back and search for them. You can go on textvet.org, you can go on to combinedarms.us, and you can find the resources that fit you in your time of need. Today we have the VFW, that's Veterans of Foreign War, Post 8790. Where are you guys and gals at? RG, I saw you. Where are you at? You in the corner? Come on, you're usually louder than this, RG. Playing ninja today. Semper Fi, number 3, Funeral Detail, Honor Guard. The Vet Center to my left. There we go. Sounding off outside. Impact a Hero, I know they're here. The Mayor's Suicide Prevention Team. They also brought gun locks today. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have weapons at home and little ones that are quite experiencing life where they crawl, run, and fly through the house, these may be items that you can use on your weapons. The Greater Houston Veterans Rotary Club, the General Land Office, and Career Gear and Serve are just a few that I saw. There's a couple of guys and gals that you don't see here today. They're the men and women who never made it back home. Speaking to some of the crowd members today, I've got some great stories to share. Obviously, we don't have the time for it today, but in my challenge, I want you to connect with others that have these stories to share about their time in service, but also their brothers and sisters who never made it home. Brothers Tim and Albert Montano, they never made it home, and we celebrate their service today. And we also celebrate, we have 2 guys that are here. Mr. Benito Carchibal, he was stationed in Da Nang. He had 2 MOSs, 51 and 20. Are you still here, Mr. Benito? Right here. Hey, so he's right there in the front row. It's like Mr. Euchre, I must be in the front row. He was injured on his last day in Vietnam. The only thing that we share besides our camaraderie, we both served at Fort Lost in the Woods in Missouri. Fort Leonard Wood for those that are seeking out your engineering school. And Arthur Sulkin, he's an Air Force captain. Is he here? Yeah. Oh, he's right beside you. Okay. He's got all this chest candy on. If you guys can't see it in the back, come up and see both of these gentlemen when the ceremony is over, because this guy was captured as a POW, and it's not what you think. He wasn't captured as a POW from the Vietnam forces. He flew the top secret special missions that he wasn't wearing a uniform. So when he was captured, he was actually captured by the Americans because his secret mission was so amazingly kept that nobody else on the side, so he had to finally prove that he was an American. But he flew more than 200 combat missions in Vietnam. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, representing Miss Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, Garrett.
Thank you so much. Again, it's great to speak with you, veterans. I got my marching orders and my mission earlier to represent the Congresswoman here and make sure she can call in. I jumped the gun a bit, but I have her on the line now. So here's Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee.
Thank you so very much. I just did not want to miss having a brief presence on this wonderful day of Vietnam Vets and War Memorial. Let me thank Mr. Denby and Tim Stroud, and let me thank the guest speaker. All of you who are represented here, we cannot thank you enough for the patriotism and the unselfishness of all of you fighting in this war, yes, for democracy and justice. It should never be underestimated what you did. I'm very glad to let you know, as a member of the Houston City Council, and I want to acknowledge the Mayor Pro Tem, that I stood along with a Vietnam vet and called upon the City Hall to lift and to show and to stand the POW-MIA flag, which still stands there today. And so with that in mind, I want to pay tribute to you and, of course, to present this congressional resolution to the guest speaker. And thank you again for never forgetting, always honoring, always thanking. As a member of the United States Congress, you have my immense appreciation, and thank you for all you've done. Thank you so very much. God bless America.
Thank you, Congresswoman. If you could approach the podium. And as he approaches, I'll just say, you don't realize how young some of these veterans are that are going to war. And his words really drove home 16, 19, 20 years old, people at the start of their lives. So all of you veterans standing here today, we can't thank you enough for your bravery, your maturity at that time in your lives to step up and say, we're going to fight for something bigger than ourselves. I don't know if we can say that about every young person who can recognize this is bigger than me, this is for country. So we really want to thank each of you for that. But now I'll do my final duty, and my mission will be complete for today. And so I'll go ahead and award this certificate of recognition to Mr. Charles L. Mills on the occasion of National Vietnam War Veterans Day. Whereas, some of you may not know some of these things, so to pay attention, this is a heck of a record. Whereas Mr. Charles Mills was born in Birmingham, Alabama, and was a paratrooper with the 173rd Airborne Brigade stationed in Central Highlands of Vietnam from 1968 to 1969. Whereas Mr. Charles Mills is a 2-tour combat decorated veteran, which includes the Purple Heart and Combat Air Medal. 10 months in his first tour as a team leader of 6-man machine gun team, the team was ambushed, leaving 2 of his fellow soldiers fatally wounded. At the request of the family of one of the fallen soldiers, he was asked by the Pentagon to escort the remains of the lost comrade back to the United States. Whereas, later in life, Mr. Charles Mills obtained a BA in Communications and a BA in Christianity and a master's degree in Theological Studies from Houston Baptist University, graduating with a 3.98 GPA. As a result of his academic achievement, he was later inducted to the HBU Walk of Fame. And there's a whole list of honors and accolades, from the Legion Honor Award, which was awarded by Jim McInville and other veterans, the KHOU Mental Health Award. Whereas, while employed for Michael E. DeBakey Medical Center for 12 years, he managed one of the largest veteran transitional work programs in the nation. Charles L. Miles and his wife are the founders and CEO of Miles Ministry, which has served Houston's homeless population for more than 20 years. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on behalf of the constituents of the 18th Congressional District, I take great pride in recognizing Mr. Charles Miles on the occasion of the National Vietnam War Veterans Day. Your commitment to serving and protecting our nation reflects the pride that exemplifies the spirit of Houston and the great state of Texas. It is my great privilege to acknowledge the efforts of Mr. Charles L. Miles' dedication to the community. His dedication to the community is truly deserving of the respect, admiration, and commendation of the United States Congress. And I'll salute all of our veterans as well. You're deserving of the respect and admiration of the United States Congress. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, Member of Congress, March 29th, 2022. Thank you very much.
We are rounding the corner. We're almost in the home stretch, ladies and gentlemen. I know the sun's coming down, and for those who are follically challenged like me and not wearing a hat, oh, I'm going to feel it later. We also have representing Congressman Dan Crenshaw's office, Cameron Schotteiner. I don't know if he's sitting behind me or not, but he's out mixing around. Oh, golf clap. There we go. He's right there behind me. Excellent. And now, as Judge Jason Luong makes his way to the podium, I get to brag on him a little bit because I met him through the treatment courts, and Bob Gephardt and others and I went through the Harris County treatment courts to make sure we went through Brothers in Arms and Stars and Stripes to make sure that our veterans who may have gotten off the path, that we gently get them back on there, but we uphold their line with integrity. And he's going to talk a little bit about that and some other things. Judge? Yes, it's okay. Give him a round of applause.
Good afternoon, veterans and distinguished guests. My name is Judge Jason Leung. I'm the judge of the 185th District Court. I'm also the presiding judge of Harris County Felony Veterans Treatment Court. I'm here today because of the veterans who served in Vietnam. I'm Vietnamese American. I would not have had this opportunity to be in this great country but for the veterans who are here today. Let me take a brief moment to thank my staff of our Veterans Treatment Court that are here. I see some of my folks, if you wave your hand. Mental Health America is here, which provides a lot of the mentors for our program. This program is unique, and I want to thank Marty Gonzalez's father. He is the Marine whose story is the basis for Veterans Treatment Court. So if you raise your hand, thank him. He is the reason why we have one of the pioneering treatment courts in this country. Veterans Treatment Court provides services for veterans who suffer from service-related PTSD, traumatic brain injury, addiction, and who face serious felony charges. Rather than sending them to prison or just ordinary probation, we connect them to services to allow them to reintegrate with the community. Their criminal case is really secondary to the fact that we help them live the life that they deserve to live after the military. So I'd like to thank all the people who helped that program happen. I'm going to take a few moments to thank and provide the other side of the coin of what we're doing here today, is to speak a little bit from the perspective of the Vietnamese Americans who are helped so much by the effort of the Americans and the veterans who served to helping our country. I was barely 4 months old when my family and I left Vietnam the day before the fall of Saigon. We had an extensive family, but in the days without cell phones or text messages, the day before the fall of Saigon was utter chaos. My family left Vietnam with very little. We actually were able to get on board the South Vietnamese naval boat. My father was a second lieutenant in the South Vietnamese Department of Defense, which is the equivalent to about the Army. But the plan was that we're going to ride out to the bay and live through the shelling of Vietnam and come back and be political prisoners. But fortunately for us, my family was picked up by the 7th Fleet. I was a sickly, premature 4-month-old baby. I'm 100% sure that I would not have survived a journey across the sea as a Vietnamese refugee on an ordinary boat, but for the medical care that was provided to me and my family by the 7th Fleet. After processing, thank you very much. Yes, please clap for that. After processing through Guam, my family ended up in San Antonio. In fact, my mother and father, my daughter was actually a lawyer in Vietnam, but their first job was as cafeteria workers at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio. The same military base that my Marine Corps wife, who's here, would be stationed at decades later. I cannot say enough and express my gratitude enough to the men and women who sacrificed so much to serve, sometimes initially unwillingly, in a foreign country. I actually clerked for a federal judge who was a Vietnam-era veteran, and we often talk about his experience. And I know that I would not have had the opportunity to be here today, to be the first Vietnamese American elected criminal court judge in the state of Texas, to be the only Vietnamese American criminal judge here in Harris County. I would not have a wife with 3 beautiful children and a beautiful family, the opportunities I've had to serve our communities as a judge and as a Veterans Court judge, but for the incredible sacrifice made by the men and women of our military in the Vietnam War. But my story is just one of countless stories of Vietnamese Americans whose lives were made possible because of the sacrifice of these men and women we celebrate here today. We don't measure success in war just simply by the ground that you gain or the land that we get. It's more about the people we've helped through that process. On behalf of my Vietnamese American brothers and sisters who are here, and even there whose lives have been made better because of the work of our soldiers, thank you so much. I know I can't say enough or do much in my lifetime to pay back the sacrifice that you've made, but let me begin by at least saying thank you on behalf of myself and my family. Vietnam is my homeland, but because of your great sacrifice, America is my home. Thank you very much.
Love those beautiful words, and I love how intertwined our tapestry in the United States actually is. I received a note from Ashley Walker, who works for the city of Houston. Her stepfather, Mr. Willie Greason Jr. Is he here today? Okay, well, I do want to recognize him because he is the former Chief Deputy U.S. Marshal of the Southern District of Texas, and he served in the United States Army as a sergeant during Vietnam, and just another one of our beautiful gold strands that goes into our tapestry. And as the judge was talking about, it's amazing how it takes one person, just one, to start something amazing. I love how Judge Mark Carter started the veteran treatment courts, who introduced me to Bob Gephardt, who introduced me to Cassie, and it just keeps going on of how amazing things that you can accomplish when you have great people by your side. And as Nguyen S. Duc makes his way for our guest remarks, then we'll follow up with Council Member Edward Pollard. Nguyen?
Thank you for bridging today. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, City of Houston, USA, and Vietnamese veterans. It is my great honor to say a few words throughout the guests, the United States veteran and veteran of the Republic of Vietnam at this ceremony. To honor both the United States and Vietnamese veterans for their outstanding service during the Vietnam War, 1960 and 1975, defending the Republic of Vietnam from communist aggression to dominate this nation by communist North Vietnam and to overthrow the government by force in April 1975. During this brutal war, more than 58,000 American soldiers and 250,000 Vietnamese armed forces and personnel were killed and kidnapped by communist insurgents. There are hundreds of American remains and thousands of Vietnamese soldier bodies still missing in action and accomplished for. The family are still looking for their missing loved one, and their destination are still unknown. Today, we commemorate our beloved American and Republic of Vietnam heroes who risked their lives for the noble spirit to struggle for freedom and democracy for the Republic of Vietnam. May their sacrifice never be forgotten and nor in vain. Thank you for listening to my remarks. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay in there. I don't want anyone to leave. We're going to have a special pending ceremony in just a few moments, right after Council Member Edward Pollard makes his way up to the lectern.
Good afternoon, everyone. Are we going to try that again? Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
There you go. Good morning and good afternoon to everyone, and happy National Vietnam Veterans Day. I am your council member, Edward Pollard, and I am excited to have you all here at your City Hall. First, to all the Vietnam veterans, thank you for your service. You all are truly real-life heroes. Give yourselves a round of applause. And to all the families, thank you for your sacrifice and your support of our veterans. Also, thank you to the Mayor's Office of Veterans Affairs for coordinating this event under the leadership of Dr. Jones and Director Robert Dembo. Let's give them a round of applause. There are also two gentlemen who I would like to give a special shout out to. First, my Uncle Ronnie Evans Sr., who served in the Army during Vietnam. And my father, Donald Pollard Sr., who served in the Marines. So years before I was elected into office, my father told me that there was not a memorial in the city of Houston that recognized Vietnam veterans and told the complete, entire Houston story of all those who have served. I was shocked to learn that, and vowed to him if ever elected, I would change that. So over the past year, my office has been tirelessly working to design and construct a Vietnam Veterans Memorial inspired by my father that will tell the entire Houston story. It is our intention that this memorial will be unveiled this year. My office has allocated a six-figure amount for this memorial in conjunction with additional investments from the Southwest TERS. And we want you all to know that all the money that is necessary for completion has already been committed.
Wow.
So we started off by looking for a sculptor and identified Troy and Vicki Kelly, obtained a quote, then went to the mayor's office, told them our vision for this Vietnam memorial, and got his blessing, started working with the mayor's office of Veterans and Military Affairs. They have been in consultation with different veterans groups behind closed doors. Our office allocated over $100,000 for this project, and we'll be paying for the stone, the fabrication, the design, and the artwork. The TERS 20 board will be paying for structural design and landscaping. And I want to also recognize the South SWA for design and partnership, Mr. James Vick. He's somewhere in the audience. James, if you're here, please raise your hand. He's back there. So this Vietnam Veterans Memorial will be at the new Club Creek Park that is currently under construction right now. That's going to be near Club Creek and 59. And I want to thank Director Kenneth Allen with the Parks Department, as well as Carol Haddock with Public Works. But we have been in works to complete this and construct this Vietnam Veterans Memorial for about a year now. And every single day we are working towards its completion. I'm not going to give all of the details at the moment because we still want to keep some of it suspense and a highlight for you all to recognize and see at the time of the unveiling. But we want you to know that it's in the works, and it will be a place for you all to always be able to get recognition, always be able to see your story, for those who served and for those who are just learning, for them to have a place where you all will always know you'll have a place where we say as the city of Houston, welcome home. God bless you all.
collared. Now at this time, we'd ask that all of our branches be recognized for the pinning ceremony. So if you served during Vietnam, whether you were in theater or if you served on a naval ship or just in CONUS, we ask that you come up. We're going to do this by branch. We're going to start with our Coast Guards. This is always the challenge, Bert, of finding Coast Guardsmen and women that served during Vietnam. Do we have a few here? Oh, I love this. So I'm going to ask my coach to come over here on my left. And we're going to pin them. We got the JROTC. Dr. Jones, do we have them coming up?
Right here.
The pinners?
Right there. Got one.
Coming up on the stage. Dr. Jones did the JROTC. They're going to pin? Correct. There we go, guys. Thank you so much. We're going to also have the Air Force to my right, your left. Air Force, let's see you. That's right. Yeah, so give them a round of applause as they come up to get pinned. Ladies and gentlemen, they waited 50 years for this commemorative pin, and I am so honored to see so many of you up here on stage to get pinned. Beautiful service dog. Thank you so much. We're going to have our veterans face the crowd. That way they can see your beautiful faces. Oh, look at all these Air Force. Came outside. We always looked up and we were praying for you guys and gals, and thankfully that you're here. This is great. Okay, well, Army. And thank you for pointing that out. Many of our veterans served in more than one branch. I still think it is very peculiar how you could leave the Marines and join the Army and lose a rank, but it happens. But you have several of these men and women that have served in many more than one branch. And one of the veterans up here served in 3 different branches, and I'm trying to remember who it was. Gentlemen, start the pinning, and ladies, start the pinning ceremony.
You only have Air Force and Coast Guard.
We love you all. It's going to take a moment for all of our Air Force. Give up our Coast Guard a round of applause. We're going to ask our Coast Guard to go ahead and step down, and we're going to bring up the United States Navy. Bob Gephardt and team. Oh, there we go. Making a little noise out there. I love it. Every day I go are bolsters of VFW, the American Legion, and the Disabled American Veterans, and also the Jewish War Veterans. Navy, coming up to my left.
He finally recognized us. But I reminded him who provided him air cover.
Bob Gephardt in the house. Excellent.
You better kiss our ass.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, Cronin, you want to say?
There we go. All right, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to say on your feet. 1, 2, 3, on your feet, Army. All right, what you're going to do is you're going to come up
and sacrifice of the ones that we lost. So that's why I do this, so that their honor, their sacrifice will always be honored.
This is a great day that we are here in the city of Houston at City Hall to honor our veterans. And the District 22 and all the American Legion posts, we are out here and representing one of the greatest generation of our times. Thank you.
I'm very excited to be here this afternoon supporting this entire important effort, supporting City Council Member Edward Pollard and his efforts for the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Here, my father is a retired Vietnam veteran, a retired Navy captain, a disabled military veteran that could not come up here today from Galveston because of his disability, but I'm grateful to be able to recognize him. I was served during Desert Storm at Marine Corps Station in Beaufort, South Carolina.
Good afternoon. My name is Bob Gephardt. I proudly served in the United States Navy in 1965, 1968. Tin Can sailor, served on the USS Harwood, DD-861. This has been an absolutely amazing event being here today. And I've got to say that...
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience.
This is
getting ready for the next two branches.
The first time that it has really affected me, and it's just truly amazing that the outflowing of support and thanks from our grateful nation. Thank you.
I want to thank all Air Force Vietnam veterans who are also being recognized, because without our air cover, many more would have died. I served in Utapao, one of our more clandestine bases that took out the Ho Chi Minh Trail and many other missions. 71, 72. I thank all my brothers who are still alive. We will not ever be forgotten.
I'm Cedric Patterson. I'm with the American Legion. I also serve as 8th District Chaplain, also the 2nd Division VAVS, also the VAVS representative for the American Legion at the Michael Vacant Hospital. I'm the chairman for the state for the VAVS and the hospital. And also I serve on the Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation Committee for the state of Texas for the American Legion. And my post is Crosby, Texas, 658 Dave McDermott, Medal of Honor recipient post. And I'm here for this Vietnam program because I was a part of the program today, and I think it was a great event that we'll finally get recognized. And some recognition for the veterans that are still homeless in the street. There's still a lot of work to be done, but we got to show some compassion. And I'd like to see more compassion of some of the workers at the hospital, because it makes a difference. Some of them don't have the military experience, but they do have the job.
At the Navy Vietnam Veterans Commemoration Day at City Hall in downtown Houston, Texas. It's a great ceremony today. A lot of good people here. Good representation from all the branches, and they're doing a pinning ceremony for all of us. So take a little bit extra time, but the speeches were fantastic. The people are warm and friendly, and I thank the city of Houston and all the people that put this together. Thanks, Andy.